New at 5:30, when you break it down, most homicides county and nationwide have a clear motive: domestic violence, gang retaliation, or robberies gone wrong.
But once in a while, a murder comes along that leaves detectives bewildered. And this is the story of one of the most shocking crime scenes in Kern County, one that many have never heard about. 17's Olivia Lavoie joining us now, adding this investigation to a long list of Kern County cold case murders. Olivia?
Jim, as detectives put it, this case is like something out of a horror film. The morbid details never shared with the public until now. So we warn you, this story will be disturbing to some viewers. In 2011, someone ended the life of a woman, and since then, she and her loved ones have never really had a chance at getting justice. But you could change that. You might hold the answers that could solve this case.
It's one of the most scenic parts of Kern County. Orchards and vineyards spread along the rolling foothills at the base of Bear Mountain. But what can be described as nature's beauty has also become an all too familiar dumping ground for killers.
The body displays obvious signs of trauma, which lead us to believe that this is a homicide.
And I remember looking at the detectives and the sergeant on scene and the coroner investigator who had arrived on the scene, and we were all kind of just speechless. We were just kind of looking at each other, you know, trying to get our minds around what we were looking at. It was that surreal.
This crime was different. This was overkill.
Something this gruesome is very unusual.
This is one of those types of murders and murder investigations that you come across maybe once in an entire career, maybe never.
Just outside Arvin, lying on a dirt road, the discovery that shocked even seasoned investigators.
Completely nude. She had been decapitated, probably between 40s or 50s, Caucasian or light-skinned Hispanic, on the dirt roadway, and it appeared that the body had been posed by whoever had left the body there.
The killer left few clues, going to extremes to conceal the identity of the victim.
Mutilated bodies on homicides are pretty rare. We don't get too many of them. They do occur, but something to the point of full decapitation is pretty rare.
It was creepy. I remember having a couple of nightmares about it afterwards.
Pruitt says it's clear a lot of effort went into staging this murder.
The blood had been drained from the body. The crime scene itself was very clean. It looked like somebody had taken a mannequin, removed the head of the mannequin, and then just posed the mannequin on a dirt road.
The decapitation was noticeably neat.
It was a fairly clean cut. They didn't just, the body wasn't just haphazardly dumped out of a moving car or dumped out of a car that pulled over on the side of the road. This person took their time to pull into this dirt access road, remove the body, place it on the ground, and then pose it in what I would consider a sexual manner, and wanted the body found like that.
The investigation, unfortunately, became cold shortly thereafter due to a lack of identification of the victim.
The woman had no signs of drug use, no tattoos, but there were some distinctive features that give some insight into the life she led.
She does have some surgical scars from a single mastectomy as well as a C-section. Beyond that, we don't know anything about her.
A possible battle with cancer, childbirth, but her DNA isn't in a criminal offender database or missing persons database.
We need to try to develop some motive or persons of interest based on who she is and who she was interacting with. Without that, we really don't have anywhere to go at this point.
One theory, the killer intentionally made her unidentifiable. Removing her head was just the beginning.
2 of her fingers were removed.
Not really fingers, but thumbs, both thumbs severed. Significant because unless you're a criminal offender, the only fingerprints in a public database, driver's license, or passports will be a person's thumbprint. But investigators say right now, everything is purely speculation.
There's a suspect or suspects out there who committed this crime, and apparently were fairly comfortable committing this crime, and they're still out there.
Short of somebody coming in here and telling us why it is they did it, I don't know that we'll really ever have an answer to it.
Because the woman's head was never found, it's still unknown exactly how she was murdered. Now, investigators in this case are all on the same page. If the victim is never identified, the killer may never be found. Detectives are making this case public only now due to the obvious challenges they're facing. If the victim were to be identified, it would open up numerous avenues in the investigation. If you knew a woman who disappeared in 2011, who had a mastectomy and a C-section and was petite, about 100 pounds and 5 foot tall, you could hold the answers to solving this case. If you have any information, call the Kern County Sheriff's Department at 861-3110, or you can always stay anonymous by calling Secret Witness at 322-4040. In studio, I'm Olivia LaVoice, 17 News.